Welcome to our third episode of Talking Today's Challenges. I'm very happy to have here today one of our group members, Martine, who's a working mom. Welcome to you, Mart.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks for being here today.
Now, no worries.
I know we spoke a couple of weeks ago about one of the biggest challenges you're facing is all around perseverance with your daughter, one of your daughters, and getting her to persevere. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit for the people that are watching this video?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've got an 11-year-old daughter, and she's a bright kid. But what I have found, well, before sort of COVID-19, before lockdown, I was sort of like obviously helping her with the homework, and what I find that I struggle with the most is her attention. Getting her to actually, want to sit with me, which actually she's happy to do because it's all about having mommy time.
Yeah.
But then when it actually comes down to doing what we need to do, if something's too hard, then she will switch off, and I find it really difficult to get her engaged in it or get her excited about it. And now we've had lockdown, obviously for the last sort of, I don't know how many weeks we're in now, 8-10 weeks, whatever. Obviously, I've got to know her an awful lot more in terms of how she's learning. Yeah. So obviously we're ramping it up and we're trying very hard to have some sort of homeschooling structure. So now it's become even more obvious and more apparent that her attention span is quite short. And if I'm doing something, if it's an art project or cooking or it's something she really enjoys, then no problem at all. She's very engaged. But if it comes down to English or maths or science or something that's not particularly sparking her, and she finds it too difficult, especially with maths, she will just shut down on me. And then what tends to happen is we tend to spiral into something that gets out of control, and then I get upset and she gets upset, and then you can forget it. Then we need to break and try and pick it up at a later date, if not at all that day, sometimes the next day. And this, I sort of find that this is a reoccurring pattern. As soon as she finds something's too difficult to do, she just doesn't want to do it, refuses to do it, and just shuts down. And I know that with us as adults, we if something's difficult to do, we do have a trait to go, whatever, I'll do it later, whatever. But these are things that I need to try and help her to get past, because she can't be shutting down and just not doing it. I don't understand it. I want to move on. And this is the main issue that I'm having, is to how to best sort of overcome this, really.
Yeah, well, you're right to be concerned in the sense that it's vital. Perseverance is vital. And, you're mentioning, and a lot of parents have mentioned to me already about, this time's been difficult with homeschooling, etc., etc. But what they're finding is that they're really learning so much about their kids and how they learn. And that's just massive. I mean, what a bonus, because as you're finding out, you've learned this, so now you're in a position to help her, which is brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. I have found that, because obviously we don't see what happens in schools. Yeah, we just sort of see the homework they come home with, and then we get to chat to the teachers. But now actually sort of seeing, so I've got two daughters. One's 8, the other one's 11, as I said. But seeing how they work, they're so very different. Both of them are so very different. So one tactic that works for one just clearly doesn't work with the other one. Both two very different children. So yes, seeing how what the children. I mean, I actually take my hat off to teachers right now. They have all these individual little people in their classes, and they've got to work out, each one of them, their personalities to get the best out of them. Amazing. I'm struggling here with one. It's like, how do I even deal with one? And on the surface of it, you think this is a time that it should be great for us to have that time with the kids, but which I'm really hoping will benefit her. But I'm finding that it may even be having the opposite effect, that she's just shutting down on me because it's too hard and I don't want to do it. I also think one of the things is she doesn't want to disappoint me, as well. She doesn't want me to realise that she doesn't know how to do that. So there's that emotional side of it, connection between parent and daughter as well. So, so one of those issues that I have, the emotional side of it, obviously they don't have that in the classroom. But I'm assuming that she's still shutting down in the classroom like she's shutting down on me. Absolutely. When something's too hard to do.
No, I would. I mean, obviously, I'm not there. I can't say for certain, but I'd absolutely guess that. It won't be a new behaviour. It's something that she tends to shut down. Is it something when she finds it difficult, or when she just doesn't like it?
When it's difficult, really. Yeah. If she doesn't like it, I can get around that a little bit, make it a bit more interesting. There's plenty of visual aids out there, with the YouTube and BBC and, so forth. But if she can't do it, that's the issue. I can't do it. It's a mindset. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. That's it,
Okay. Yeah. Well, what we're talking about, first of all, thanks for bringing it up, because it's, there's so many parents who tell me the same thing. Okay. So straight away, this is, it's common. What you're describing is common. And I've personally seen it in my, when I used to be a teacher, etc. So the first thing maybe to look at is her fear of failure. Would you say when she doesn't want to do these things that are difficult, is she fearing failing in it? Would you say?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's everything you've spoken about today. I'm sitting here thinking, this is a huge, huge area. It's a massive. Sure. And so, I'll do more work on it. But for this, obviously, for this interview, or this chat, I should say, we're just, if it's okay with you, I'll just give you some tips that's going to help you to hopefully make some progress with her. Mm-hmm. Now, failure, the research tells us that kids will pick up on kids will have a response to failure according to how they're brought up and their parents' response to it. So if a parent is, failure's actually really good, it's how we learn, and there's nothing to be afraid of. They're less likely to be fearful of it. But if the parent's like, I mustn't fail, and this is bad, and, then obviously the child is going to be the same. So one of the things we need to...
I don't think I'm that.
Which one?
I don't think... I'm not... It's okay to fail, I think. I give her that message, but I'm not sure. Maybe not.
Yeah, I know. And it's really hard, isn't it? Because sometimes we think we're doing something and we think we're giving off certain messages to our kids when actually we're not. And we're maybe giving, I had an example of this myself a few days ago, and it's like, oh, okay, I thought I was giving off this, but she's actually taken it as that. Okay, so it does happen all the time. So one thing I would suggest is just to have a look at how, when you find things that are difficult, or you don't like, or both, how do you respond to them? I'm not expecting you to answer right now, but it's something worth looking at, because even when we think they're not listening and paying attention, they are. And it might just be something small, and that, it can be, a couple of months ago, I did a parent workshop on building maths and confidence, and some of the parents were there. Oh yeah, I say that actually. Oh yeah, I say that. So it's kind of a self-awareness, of what we say to our kids. So it's really worth just sitting back and thinking, well, when I face something difficult or challenging, what actually is my response, and what's my response in front of my kids? And if you need to, you might not need to. You might look at that and think, oh no, actually it's quite positive. But if it's not, then we come into the modelling bit. So model to them, when you find something difficult, how you carried on, how you persevered. And not only did you persevere, but when you persevered, look at the outcome, look at what I got. So you you are encouraging her to see the benefits of perseverance.
I've seen some of your maths workshops, yeah. And one thing that sort of struck a chord with me, which I'm definitely guilty of doing, that I hadn't realised that I was guilty of doing, was especially when it came to maths. Maths was not my subject. And I say that, I can hear myself say, I was never very good at maths, but and I think that what that's done, or it has done in the past, which I picked up from one of your workshops, was I'm reinforcing to my kids that I wasn't very good at maths, so therefore it's okay for you not to be good at maths. Where in actual fact, with your workshop that I was lucky enough to see, was how I have been reinforcing that negative belief in her, and I have actually stopped doing that now. Trying to get over the maths is fun. And there are some strategies and some tips that I definitely picked up on from that have had a positive impact. But it still sort of mostly comes back to trying to keep her persevere, trying to get her to persevere when she finds something too tricky to do. Rather than staring out the window and dreaming about butterflies, to actually want to know how to do that. Yeah, that is definitely the key. I find that I'm trying to find the best solution for. So any positive techniques is really helpful. Because like I say, some of the ones I picked up from the maths workshop was very good. Was really good.
Yeah, it's about allowing her to see the benefits, because without perseverance, obviously not just your daughter, but anybody, we're not going to get to where we want to get to. So getting into a habit, if you like, of persevering when things get tough is massive. I mean, it's going to be massively beneficial to her, not just now, but obviously as she grows up. And one thing you might want to do is some kind of progress chart, because from what you're saying, it's also a confidence issue, isn't it?
Yes. I think that's key. That's it, really. Yeah. Pitching herself against other kids as well. She'll quite often say, such and such in my class is really good at maths. I can tell they're going to be really good at this subject, because she's already making that as a negative on herself.
Yeah, and again, that's another huge area.
Yeah. How many workshops do we need? Yeah.
You've come with a lot today, Mark.
Okay.
No, but they're all really, really important. So I'm glad you've brought them to you. I can't address it all right now, obviously. But you're right.
You can't fix it all in 20 minutes, Nick.
No. I wish I could. Yeah, but the confidence is massive. So what I thought you might want to do is some kind of progress chart to let her know and actually see the progress she's made, because it's all very easy to forget. So take a subject that she finds, she doesn't have confidence in, or maybe she finds it difficult, in maths, for example. Okay. Mm-hmm. So for her to keep a chart, and she can keep a chart however she wants it, whether she wants to put it on the wall or whether she wants to put it in a little diary, it doesn't matter. But it needs to be there written down for her to see her progress. So, do you remember when I didn't know half my times tables, for example, okay? Or I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that. But then I persevered and I kept at it. And then look, now that because I persevered and achieved that, it led to that, or it led to or whatever positive it was. And I would also, in conjunction with that, I would also, and this is just day-to-day life, talking to her about the people that have persevered and look at where they got to. Because you know as well as I do, there's no super successful person that didn't persevere, and to let her know that people are not born with these talents. They're not born with this ability, they have got there purely by perseverance. So once she's seen the benefit of persevering by these people, and maybe people, famous people that she admires, and have a look at those people with her. Maybe get a book, or do some research. Who does she really, really like, and what did they? Because everybody's got a story. Whoever it is, will have gone through some hardships. I mean, my daughter's got some great books about women actually who have, achieved, against the odds. And they're really inspiring, but also lets their kids know that, like I said, nobody's ever going to get there without first persevering. Now, another thing. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just saying about the inspiration section. So, I mean, it's inspiring her to want to have the result, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it, because she, wants the result, but wants the shortcut to it.
Which is understandable. But
she wants the motorway. Sorry?
Yeah, and that's not really helped either for our kids today with social media.
No.
Where people can actually become, famous like that with millions of followers without having actually done too much. So it is difficult for them, but it's, well, as you well know, perseverance is key, And it also gives her more choices, and this is what you can explain to her, because the more she perseveres and achieves what she wants to achieve, the more choices she's got later on in life. So if she thinks English, maths, not important, doesn't get them, okay, she's already limiting her choices in the future. Okay.
Yeah,
now,
sure. Yeah.
This isn't an overnight thing. You may not want to, immediately start talking to her like on that level, but do you know what I mean? It's getting her to see, like I said, the benefits of persevering. Yeah. And another thing I would say is goal setting. Does she set goals, or is she good at doing that? Or
again, yes. And then she'll tend to lose interest in things. So everything has to be sort of short and sharp. Yeah. We have lots of sort of ways of like a rewarding system. Obviously, monetary is always good. They get marbles, which then a full marble jar turns into hard cash. Hard cash then turns into shopping, because she loves clothes. So that's something that, does help. Again, it's a short focus. So whatever I do, she has to see the benefit quite quickly. So there has to be lots of short, sharp goals rather than big, long-term ones.
Yeah.
It's too distant for kids, isn't it? I think that they work on a much shorter, so it has to be shorter, sharper.
Yeah.
But then I also don't want to instill this, everything you do deserves a reward.
No, that's right, yeah.
So there's a fine balance between the two. Sometimes you just got to put the work in, and there is no instant reward, So I don't want to give the message that everything you do gets rewarded, because we know that that's not real.
No, that's right.
So it's very difficult to try and work out what's best, because every child's different. But with Molly, she it's very much about that perseverance. Always, that's the one thing that if I can get her to do that. And there's lots of different ways that I've done it in the past.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of coming, as speaking to you today as a professional. It's good to get another sort of, professional point of view from the classroom as well.
Yeah.
Because I've never been a teacher in a classroom. After this experience, I can't imagine I'd ever want to be a teacher in a classroom. But it's very difficult because of the emotional connection with your own child, to not get too emotional about their, when they get upset.
Of course.
And I think that's where the good advice comes from you, taking that out of the, and looking at it more pragmatically, I guess.
Yeah.
Rewards, for sure.
But just to say, with rewards as well, you could just shift the focus of a reward. Like a reward might be if she's able to learn a particular thing in maths, for example, how good is that going to make her feel in class? So if, I don't know, for example, if you're learning about fractions, okay, so she can persevere with you and learn whatever it is she needs to learn, then when she does go back into class, the reward is she's going to feel better because she knows it.
Yeah, that's actually, you've actually chosen one subject there she actually likes.
Okay,
The one thing in maths she likes is fractions. But for sure, that's my hope that that she will start to feel a bit better about it.
Yeah.
But the perseverance is definitely the main obstacle. Generally, I think with her in most subjects, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you start, I know we've kind of running out of time here a little bit, but I think if you start with some of those tips, I mean, looking at her fear of failure, for example, again, that's not going to be an overnight thing. That's something you're going to have to work on over time. And letting her know that failure is fundamental to our learning. Okay, it's okay. And you may at times talk to her about, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? And get to see it. And if she's fearful of particular things, do it more often, because then it becomes familiar. And the more familiar we are, the less intimidated we are about it. Just very quickly, I've just started doing some more difficult challenges in maths with my daughters. At the moment, it's like, oh, that's a little bit scary, but we're just doing one every day. So then they just become familiar. It's like, oh yeah, they're not so scary anymore. Modelling. So have a little look at your responses and how you respond to when you have to persevere, and share with her when you've persevered with things. Okay, and continue to set goals, like you say, short ones, and break it down. So when if she sits down to do something and she gets frustrated straight away and doesn't want to do it, maybe she could have a goal of, right, today I will spend, I don't know, 5 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever it would work for your daughter, do my best to try and work this out. Okay, and if I can't do it after this amount of time, then she'll go talk to you or her dad or whoever it is, and then she can extend that time. Okay, so next day she might just extend it by a minute. Do you see? Right. So she's not straight away giving up. So goals could be like that as well. They can be immediate, and if it's a bigger goal, then just break them down into small, kind of manageable challenges.
Okay.
Now, sorry to have to stop it there, but like I said, the confidence, the fear of failure, it all comes under the umbrella of resilience. It's a massive, but really, really important area. So thank you so much, Martine, for coming today. And
it's been good. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I sort of follow your page, so there's a lot of good stuff on there as well.
Thank you.
Because obviously, with kids, things pop up at different times, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a big journey. It's a journey.
Yeah, for
sure.
It most definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah, I put some of the maths ones into practice.
Great.
That we've sort of I've seen on your pages. They've been really good.
Brilliant.
That whole one about I wasn't very good at maths, therefore that's such a negative. That was one massive thing that I took away from that.
Great.
Thank you. Yeah, I shall let you know how I get on.
No, do, and I hope, like I said, I hope those tips have helped a little bit. Well, I'm positive that if you start to implement those, that we'll see some good results. But don't hesitate to reach out to me if you've got any more, challenges or anything you want to ask me about. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And thanks for being so honest and open today, because I think that really helps parents as well. That makes them think, it's just not me. It's not only me that's in this situation. Somebody else feels. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not alone.
No, you definitely are not alone.
No, especially at the moment where it's been highlighted with us all being all of a sudden turned into home teachers overnight.
That's right. And that's a whole other chat as well, isn't it?
Yeah, trying to do the best. Yeah. Okay.
No, and I'm sure you are. Okay, and if any of you are watch today's video, then please, any questions you have, then write them in the comments below. Okay, thank you very much.